Astra Lost in Space is a sci-fi adventure anime based off the 5-volume manga. Now, I did read the manga first, which I really enjoyed, so I knew I'd like the show. But it's nice to see the show done in like color and music and everything. Definitely gave me goosebumps still. Very enjoyable story. So this is basically about a group of young would-be space adventurers on a field trip. However, when they go to their planet camp to survive the 5-day thing, they are sucked into a wormhole mysteriously and ejected into space. And normally they would die, but there's a ship out there, so they basically go to the ship and they find out that they are really far from home and they are going to die, probably starvation. However, they can use the ship to explore other planets and they can hopscotch their way back to their home planet, basically. So that's basically the plot of the movie, the show, but it doesn't get into the sort of character development that we get. If you're expecting like a deep, super hardcore sci-fi, then you probably won't get that. This is more of an adventure story, exploring new planets. It's very wholesome, and there's like barely any violence. There's a little bit of tension and suspense. It has a lot of Among Us vibes because we find out that someone on the crew is a traitor and basically doesn't want them to make it back for mysterious reasons. And I really liked how the manga is really short. It's only 5 volumes, the last volume being the largest, but it really wraps up everything into a nice tight story. We get an overarching sort of reason for why they're in space, and because the manga's over, that means the anime doesn't leave you off with a cliffhanger. It has a full complete story and all 12 episodes. There's no, we're gonna just cover the first 10 volumes of the manga and then leave off, because a lot of manga does that. There's a lot of manga that are so long and they make an anime version, but they don't make anything beyond the first season, like Claymore or Trigun, or there's a lot, because basically some animes are just a large expensive commercial for you to read the manga. So it's great for this one to have its finite resolute ending. There's some really great comedic moments, a lot of character development. Could have pushed a little bit in terms of other representation. One character is a hermaphrodite, I believe, but that's not really like a major part of the story. But I do like how wholesome it is. The characters, they have their arcs. Sometimes they're not too deep or complex, but it's not that kind of story. It's a fun space adventure. The sci-fi elements are basically just like for example, one of the biggest hurdles to survive is to get food and water, and they make it sound like it's a very hard thing to do, but after they go to each planet, that's sort of thrown under the bus, because I don't want to watch clips of them going hungry or clips of them going like, we need to meticulously plan our food. That's not the biggest part. The biggest threat is the dangers of the alien creatures on these new planets, or ship breaking down, the trader coming after them. So all that stuff is a lot more interesting, and I like that. It's a very plot-driven story, but the character development is still there a little bit. Some other characters don't get as much focus as others, but that's okay. Overall, I really recommend Astra Lost in Space. It has a lot of great character moments, bombshells. It's really entertaining. It's definitely the closest thing we'll get to an Among Us story, so I definitely recommend the anime Astra Lost in Space.